Hey Aries, this is going to be your where's this relationship going reading. This is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with every single Aries, but if it does resonate with you, wonderful. If it does not, please feel free to check out your moon, rising, or Venus sign. I'll leave a timestamp in the comment section below for when the reading actually begins. So let's jump into it. Can I please get a clear and concise message? Aries, and this person, their partner, or person who is looking up, and where this relationship is going. Where is this relationship going? Clear, concise message for Aries. How this person feels about the other, how they feel about the relationship itself, what they want from it, what they can do to improve it. Please, clear and concise message for this person. Please get a clear and concise message for the other party involved in this relationship in their perspective. This relationship dynamic as far as where this relationship is headed, please. A clear and concise message where this person feels this relationship is going. Clear, concise message, please, for where this person feels like the relationship is going, please. Clear and concise message, please. Clear and concise message, please. Definitely your fire energy. You could be done with another fire sign, but fire's definitely here. Okay. Please get a card for the most likely outcome for these two, please. In the next month. Most likely outcome for these two in the next month. And what advice do you have for these two? What's the advice for these two? Okay, Aries, let's go ahead and jump into your reading. Let's start here with the first card so we can talk about in this spread I'll be referring to the top row as person A, bottom row as person B. energy is interchangeable, so whichever person resonates with you, just go with that, the other one being your partner. I will say right off the bat that there is Scorpio, Virgo, and Leo energy here, as well. Aries, you are here as well, and Cancer, Scorpio, again, Scorpio very strong, and Pisces. So let's jump into this. Let's talk about how you both feel about each other. Let's start there. So person A, it feels like, I'm gonna go ahead and say it right off the bat, that right now this relationship, this connection's in a very rough spot. You guys are dealing with some difficult energy between the two of you. So if that's not your situation, this more than likely is not gonna be your reading. So let's start there. But let's start with person A and how they feel about person B, and it's the Death card. This person either feels like person B has changed, and I feel like person A could feel like person B has changed for the worse, not the better in this instance here. It could also be that person A views person B as someone who has either ended the relationship, ended a part of the relationship, ended the intimacy potentially with the other, or there's some kind of severing here that's been done that person A views, and so right now they feel like this is over in a sense. The Death card talks about endings, and person A could feel about person B that this is over. This whole relationship is over, and it's not transitioning yet into a positive place. Almost as if they feel like the relationship itself, which we'll get into. But as far as how they feel about the other person, they could also feel like person B ended things, did things that ended this relationship or connection, or took it to kind of a dark place with the Death card. Now person B, how they feel about person A is they feel very disinterested right now. There's some apathy here. I also feel like, to a certain extent, I'm going to read this in a couple of ways, so just take it as it resonates, but I feel like person B could feel either taken advantage of, because a lot of times with the Four of Cups, this person doesn't value what's coming into them, what's being given to them in terms of emotional support and care. So that's one way. The other way is that they've lost interest in the person. Person B could have lost interest in person A, or if it's not losing interest, I feel kind of strongly that person B could feel like, especially this connection's really rough right now, I feel like person B feels like they're not getting what it is that they want from person A. I really feel that strongly. I feel like person B just doesn't feel like they're getting what they want, and person A just feels like this relationship is over. There's something in this there's a lot of conflict, and if it's not conflict, there's a lot of just a lot of disharmony here. These two people are going through some things emotionally, and this person B, has kind of shut themselves off in a way emotionally. Now let's talk about how both of these people view the relationship, because person A feels like this relationship always has conflict. There's always fighting. Like it almost is as if person A feels like we just can't get on the same page here. And that could be why they feel like, this is over, this relationship is over. We can never seem to get it right. Almost that's that feeling, is that someone feels like, person A here feels like they just can't get it right. Like we can't do what it takes to get on the same page and just coexist peacefully. almost as if there's always something. It's kind of what I'm feeling. It's like there's always something in this relationship. Now, person B, how they feel about the relationship is the Hermit. They feel very alone within the relationship, within this connection. These two energies back to back are really isolationist. This could be the person that's really kind of pulling back because they aren't getting what it is that they need. And to feel the Hermit about a relationship, there's a couple ways. I mean, this person could feel like this relationship has taught them a lot about what they may want or may not want in a connection or relationship. Or it could kind of signify that this person feels like they have to do a lot of soul searching to figure out if this relationship or connection is worth salvaging. These two people are going through a lot in terms of relationship. But what's so interesting about it, though, is that let's talk about what both these people want. Right? They feel like there's interest being lost, connection being lost, wanting to end it. They feel like the relationship, there's a lot of conflict. They feel alone. They feel isolated, like that either someone is pulling away from them with the Hermit or that they have to pull back from the connection. But let's talk about what both of these people want. Person A, despite all this, it's so interesting because despite all of this drama, this is drama here. Despite all of this drama, because this drama can stem from a lot of things. It can stem from incompatibility. It can stem from just personality conflict, behavioral conflict. It can stem from just people's actions, or getting to know how to deal with each other in a relationship, or breaches of trust. There's a lot of things that can cause this kind of drama in situations. But what's so interesting is person A, they want the Seven of Pentacles from this relationship. This person feels like they've invested something, that they've invested their time, their resources, they feel like this relationship is an investment. And what's so interesting is the Seven of Cups doesn't plant their pentacles, their seeds, and walk away from it and never return, right? This card expects a return. This card's gonna wait. So person A feels like they still want to wait to see what this can be for some reason. They still want to wait. Despite all of this, they still want to wait. And person B wants the Sun. They want to be happy again. So it feels like maybe there was a time when these two were happy together. You were happy with each other, Aries, and something happened. Time can happen, life can happen. But it feels like this person here really just wants to be happy in the connection, or they want some kind of clarity. I really feel like there is something that needs to be clarified for person B. Sorry about that. There's a need for clarity. They need their eureka moment to understand what's going on in this connection. And I feel like almost as if they want clarity as to what's going on. So this could be a little bit off and on too. Like sometimes these people don't know whether they're on or off. There's a little bit of that energy here too. Like almost as if these two people don't always know where they stand with each other. So sometimes one person feels like it's over. The other person feels like, I don't want to deal with this anyway, with the Four of Cups. And there's all this conflict, but this person wants clarity and this person wants to invest in it. They want happiness here. So it's really interesting because there's a little bit of, I feel like person A just has a little bit more drive to see what could happen here. And I feel like person B is internalizing a lot of this conflict and drama and trying to figure out whether this is a situation that they can be happy in. So let's talk about what each person could actually do to improve this, right? If these two people decide that they want to stick this out, what could they do to improve it? For person A, it's the Magician. So what that kind of implies to me is that this person A, really knows what could make person B happy, but sometimes they just don't want to do it. To the extent like they just don't want to either give in, or they could feel like their behavior doesn't warrant them putting in this type of effort, because the Magician requires effort, right? It's a magical effort, but it's still effort. And it's almost like that person A needs to put some type of supernatural effort beyond what they're doing, is how I feel. I feel like person A could feel like they're doing enough, but there are things that they could be doing that they're kind of refusing to do right now because of all the drama and conflict, which is really understandable. But I also feel like what they could also do to improve is, remember that the Magician is utilizing all the elements, right? So the Magician, whatever they're producing is going to be well-rounded. It'll have all of the elements: Cups, Pentacles, Swords, and Wands. And it's going to use all of that to manifest something. And I feel like this person has access to either information or something to where they know how to alleviate this conflict. They know how to do that. They have some kind of ability to implement. I feel like the person A is the implementer. This person would have to implement changes and expectations and a different set of standards in this relationship to get these two people on the same page and moving in a positive direction, because right now it's moving in the negative. Now let's talk about person B and what they could do to improve the relationship. That's the Queen of Cups, and this is pretty straightforward. Person B needs to show more emotion in this connection. I feel like person B, especially, there's a lot of solitary energy, wanting clarity. There's a lot of isolationist energy here, and I feel like this person does not show how they feel very often, is not super expressive, they could be more caring, they could be more considerate, more empathetic, or it's almost as if they could be the kinder, gentler version of themselves. That is what kind of would help this situation. I also feel like person B, I feel like there's more energy in person A, almost as if they're kind of the firecracker in this. And I feel like instead of stoking the flames, person B stoking the flames, they should extinguish them with water, right? Extinguish them with emotion and kindness and lovingness instead of feeding and fueling it. And I feel like their isolationist nature kind of fuels some of the conflict here. So let's talk about the most likely outcome right now, right? The most likely outcome right now is the Ten of Rods, which is the Ten of Wands. The most likely outcome is that these two people are still going to be under a lot of relational pressure. There's still going to be some, I feel like what's interesting is this is the card of burdens, right? But I also feel like the Ten of Wands, this person is carrying all of these burdens. And I feel like what's so interesting is even though these people feel like it's over, there's conflict and all of this, I feel like both of these people are still going to try to carry these burdens and make this situation work. I feel like they have to implement what would be advised to help smooth this connection in a way. But it feels like both of these people are still going to want to carry this on and see where it can go. But eventually with the Ten of Wands, right, he displays so much perseverance and strength, and he can carry it all on their shoulders, right? It's such a responsible energy. I really feel like with the Ten of Wands, you really get this sense of duty. And it's respectable, but everyone comes to a point where they may want to lay their burdens down. And I think within the next month or so, both of these people are going to be kind of contemplating whether they can just keep carrying this along or if they want to lay this down. Now, let's talk about the advice for the best outcome. You got the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. So with this card coming up ill-dignified, I feel like the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse is someone who is experiencing a lot of discontent. They're experiencing a little bit of self-consciousness, a lack of confidence. So also with this, it talks about facades with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Because in the upright, this person is displaying that they have everything that they want and need. They're independent and they don't need anyone else. I feel like in the reverse, it's a little bit of codependency sometimes, and also a facade that someone is putting up. So I feel like the best advice for these two people is to lay down the facade. Especially if you are depicting to other people that this relationship or this connection is something that it's not. You don't have to justify your relationship to anyone, your connections to anyone. No one's relationship is as great as it looks. And sometimes your relationship could even be better than it looks, but it's not about how it's perceived. It's about what's actually existing within the connection. And I feel like the best advice here for these two people is to actually confront what's really going on here and drop the facade. I also feel like one of these people, and it could be either one, but one of these people is extremely independent and pulling back from this connection a lot. And I feel like this is saying they need to give up that independent energy, because, and not to the detriment of who you are as a person, it's not in that sense, but don't become so kind of withdrawn from the connection that it's impacting the other person emotionally. I feel like there needs to be a reestablishment of the connection, and that both of these people can depend on each other to move forward and grow. And they can actually experience real Nine of Pentacles, right? Where you can flip this and it can be real happiness, real contentment, real, where both parties can feel like they're in a good, solid place. And to do that, you've got to kind of drop the facade and really view this situation for exactly what it is and determine whether both people are willing to do what it takes to either make this work, or if it's time to just kind of lay the burden down, even though both people are capable of carrying it. So I hope that was helpful and provided a little bit of clarity for you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.